My name is David Arrigo. I'm an artist that paints and designs goalie masks. Confident to say that I'm in thousands of masks. So once I get the mask, then I start getting into more of the design, like knowing where to place everything. I have to tear down the mask, like bolts, screws, everything, sand it down, prime it. And once we're agreed on the design, then I sketch it onto the mask and then start painting it. And as I'm painting it, I'll send off pictures to my guys for approval and say, make sure that we're always on the same page, and then finish it up and then send it out for clear coat. I get it back, reassemble it, and then ship it off. I'm still old school, where I will source images. The goalies will send me images. I'll sketch it out. I'll sort of lay it out on the computer in the sense that, I'll drag and drop. You have the two-dimensional picture, and that's sort of just to give them an idea. But I know there are programs out there that a lot more, the younger artists are using, or even, I know a couple other guys are using it. But I just hope that one day we don't lose, the artist's, handprint on these pieces. All my paints are all water-based. There are still, some that are using the oil-based paints out there. I know myself, I needed to be ahead of the curve simply because I do a lot of live events and I don't want to set off the hazmat alarms. So all my paints are California code, basically Createx Autowear. To me, that's the best paint in the industry. Becoming an artist, it's sort of the domino effect for me. I started off in the bars and restaurants, back in the 90s doing large murals, outdoor murals, and that was a big thing. There was no vinyl back then, so you actually had paint going onto walls. That brings me into a whole new facet of my painting, which was speed painting, for lack of better terms, which is now called the live mural experience. I'll paint over the period of a day to 2 weeks, like during the Winter Olympics. And it's sort of been a progression from there, so the domino effect. So my first goalie mask, it's funny, it goes back, we have to rewind back to 2006, 2007, Dallas NHL All-Star game. I'm doing a large mural there, and Mike Smith, who was a rookie at the time, was playing in Dallas, and his father approached me about doing masks, and I had no interest at all. Didn't want to do anything about that. But he sort of, kept on hounding me, if you will. And so we decided to come up with something unique, which was the Grinch being on the mask. And at the time, I didn't even think about it, but there was no real seasonal mask, no tribute mask. The masks were what they were. So we came up with something a little different, where you had the Grinch, beside the Christmas tree, pulling off the other team's logos. And unbeknownst, it became huge. The media was all over this mask. And then months later, Smitty was traded to Tampa Bay, and that's a whole other story, the whole other whack of masks that we did. It's funny because masks have come so far over the years. And it's not just based on the artist style, because you have certain artists like Dave Art or Sylvie Airbrush, and they bring their style to the table. You know a Dave Art mask when you see it, or Eye Candy, you know those masks when you see it. It's all comes down to personality at the end of the day. Some guys are just pure, just logos. Just put the logos on and that's it, and they're happy. That's the other great thing about this business, is meeting the different personalities. Carey Price, Brian Elliott, and then it goes down to the beer leaguers, the kids. Right now I'm working on a 4-year-old girl's mask from Alaska, so it's just right across the world, literally. Asking me about a favorite mask, like asking a parent about their favorite child. They all have different stories, and that's the great thing about it. So show me a picture of a mask, and I'll say, well, this is the inspiration behind that. And so ask me what the favorite one is, can't do it.